Meanwhile, the JSA has closed slightly weaker amid the measured world market performance recorded so far today. For further developments, we are joined by Portfolio Manager at Makwe Fund Managers, Phaswane Mphahlele. Good evening to you. Can we say the same about the local domestic performance that we've seen on the JSA as compared to its global peers?
Looking into the markets, it's afternoon, evening. Markets, it's been a steady market on a day despite having to see the Lunar New Year in Asia that has disrupted volume. The JSA went through a tough morning session earlier, but as the US opened and we get closer to the closing, it managed to follow the positive price momentum higher, and this is at the back of investors now looking ahead from a global picture, from the inflation print that is going to give us guidance on interest rate cuts, whether they are affirmative in Q2, while local investors are also paying attention on the mining production numbers coming out, and that will give guidance whether the key sector has been managing to continue to manage the current infrastructure challenges. We've seen on the board our gainers remained, our resources up 1.5, supported about these expectations they have, while our retailers were under pressure, and this is at the back of these load-shedding challenges, as the retailers were the ones that managed to fail to get some gains.
Now talk to us about commodities, especially as oil has now dropped to its first weekly low as compared to where we were last month.
We're looking at on the oil price. It was marginally down 0.5%, and this is at the start of the week. And this is at the back of investors having to change some profit taking, and following the Middle East development of failing to get an agreement, continuing attacks, and the prices managed to go up a bullish trade level over $80 a mark, sitting around $81.60 a barrel. But there is still a bearish trend. And therefore, and this is defined by the fact that we won't see going much higher, especially because China is experiencing deflationary challenges. There's a global industrial recession that is taking place, and that will keep the price range between $76 and $81 as we wait and see what new developments take place.
Let's also discuss how emerging market currencies, including the rand, are faring so far.
On the currency market, we're seeing a dollar that managed to hit a 6-week high, and this is at the back and remaining very bullish from a trade or a trend perspective, whether you look at it anyway. This is at the back of the fact that there's a strong data that comes out of the US. We've seen how the inflation is also expected to be at around about 3% tomorrow. That will help push global markets higher, and interest rate cuts have been pushed back. So the dollar has been having a lot of support and consistently so week in, week out. This has put emerging market currencies under pressure and mixed. We're seeing a Russian ruble that managed to show some slight appreciation. This is at the back of the higher oil prices we saw coming from last week. We saw the Brazil real. It managed to see some slight gain because of the inflation data that will have an implication on their monetary policy. China has showed some weakness because of that CPI print, that inflationary consistent trend they have economically. The Indian rupee, we're talking something that is relatively unchanged. They continue to enjoy some gains of investment flow coming in. They have continued strong economic data that is encouraging investors to keep looking at the region. Meanwhile, when you look at the rand, generally it shows some slight improvement today, but generally it's still under pressure. It still floats with the 19 rand level, and this is at the back of the stronger dollar. We're seeing some local issues such as load shedding, amongst others, continuing to put the rand under challenge.
Lastly, Phaswane, a new report has found that about 80 cents per share of an offer to buy out shareholders at Ascendis and delist the firm is fair. Your views on this one?
The companies they've been through a lot over the past decade, and the shareholders have not got much out of what has happened over this time. And having such a report come out from the guys there, the credible players, they've been appointed, we've leaked, but they've made that report actually from being very credible. They've managed to oust all these others here saying that have been coming out on the socials, and looking at it, the share price has been stable ever since the information has come out, been stable around that 80 level. I'm sitting on the say that it's a fair play, but we all know between me and you and I, shareholders will always seek for more, especially looking at Ascendis.
We'll leave it on that note with Phaswane Mphahlele from Makwe Fund Managers. He's a portfolio manager there, talking us through the latest market developments as the JSA closes for the day and the rest of the globe continues with trade.